do you advise to cope with depression?
I think there's a lot of different ways to cope with depression. It really depends on the person, their interest, their personality, their family. I think just getting involved in kind of sports, local agencies, youth group, you want to have people that are accountable for you. If you don't show up somewhere, you need someone that's going to call you and reach out. You kind of have to put yourself out there too to build those friendships. So yeah, sports, youth group, art, music, there's a lot of great ways to kind of cope with what you're dealing with.
What examples of depression have you seen?
I think depression manifests itself in different people in a lot of different ways. I think younger kiddos are really angry. Kind of that sadness manifests as anger. That's a kiddo you might see throwing things and screaming. They can't really put into words how they feel. I think teenagers deal with it a little bit different, where they're more likely to hide things, maybe confide in a few friends. I think online is kind of a good outlet, or maybe kind of some friends through the internet are the only people that really know what they're dealing with. There's some kiddos I think that try to hide it really well, and they're really active and try to keep their grades up, trying to stay busy instead of coping with what's going on. And there are a few I think that will reach out and let people know what's going on, and their friends are aware and they know what to watch for and how to help them.
What ways have you seen people cope with depression?
I've seen healthy and unhealthy coping skills for depression. I think you all have heard probably, of kids that will cut themselves, hurt themselves, isolate themselves, running away from home, substance abuse. Those kinds of things are just really negative ways to deal with the problem, and actually they don't help you. It just kind of adds on to the existing issue. Again, I think sports, school involvement, your local community, food drives, food banks, anything that keeps you busy. Sports is a good one. You kind of tire yourself out. It can be a coping skill to clear your head. Yoga, meditation, art, music, anything creative to kind of channel what you're dealing with, journaling. Yeah, I think it's kind of a challenge to find out what works for you. But when you find that, that can be really a saving grace.
How do you experience depression?
I experience depression as I get really sad. I don't talk to people. I lose all motivation to do things sometimes. I'll spend hours on the internet or watching TV because there's just nothing better to do.
What ways do you cope with it?
I cope with my depression by talking to friends, and going outside really helps. If you're upset, just spend 5 minutes out in the sunshine. It helps so much. And I love to laugh, so I'll find things on the internet that make me laugh, and then I'll feel a little bit less dead.
What method of coping do you find is best?
Definitely talking to friends. Even just silly conversations. They don't have to know what's going on to be able to help you. If you can make somebody laugh, who knows how much difference that could make.
How do you use the internet to cope with depression?
I use the internet to cope with depression because I look at memes a lot of the time. I look up funny videos. I talk to my friends over the internet. The internet is just this wide world of things to do when there's nothing else.
What examples have you seen where the depression has been made into a joke?
I think our society today especially, suicide is kind of a joke to everybody. It's kind of sad, but at the same time, it kind of helps. People make jokes oh my god, I don't want to do this, kill me now, I'm gonna kill myself. Things like that, it's just kind of a joke to everybody. And some people find it really offensive, but I personally think that turning it into a joke is within itself a coping mechanism. Like, the world is a really ugly place, you know? And if you can laugh about it, that just makes it all the much more tolerable.
What is your opinion on such?
On such.
On depression being made into a joke?
Oh. Well, like I said, I feel like turning it into a joke is kind of a coping mechanism. Like, you know, I'm sure everyone's heard some very horrible jokes. May or may not have told some myself. But, you know, just things like that. You know, if you can laugh about it, it makes it seem less horrible, less real. And, you know, if that's what you have to do to cope with your day-to-day, then that's what you have to do. And, you know, there's definitely worse ways of coping with depression. And I feel like if you can turn it into a joke, it just makes it better for some people.
Do you know what memes are, and do you use them in depression?
Do I know what memes are? I am Professor Meme. Yeah, I share memes on my Facebook page all the time. You know, to the point of which some people don't even take me seriously, because I'm just memes. But I feel like people using memes to express depression as a joke is sort of the same thing. It's just the way that our culture expresses ourselves. Kids these days are a lot more, like, aware of our mental health. Like, you know, maybe back in the day, people would just be like, oh, you're sad, suck it up. And, you know, that's kind of when bad things happen. But even if it takes a joke to start a discussion about it, then that's worth it to me.
Do you make memes?
Yeah, on occasion.
Do you use them to cope with depression?
When I'm feeling down, memes help me get back up.
What sort of emotion do you experience when seeing a meme that expresses someone's thoughts?
Understanding what those people are feeling.
How have you seen others use memes?
I've seen people use them to cope with depression, put out emotions that they feel are repressed.
How do you use the internet to express yourself?
Watch a lot of YouTube, learn things about myself.
Do you often see memes used as a coping method?
Yes, I do.
Do you believe there are better ways to deal with depression?
Maybe in some cases, but without a lot of money, you can make memes and be happier.